Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar, starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago Automotive Dealers Association, TTADA, President Visham Babwa is calling on the government to review its ticketing policy when it comes to spare tires and windscreen defects, citing global manufacturing trends and ongoing supply chain challenges. Speaking with the Guardian media yesterday, Babwa said the relevant authorities are squeezing motorists for not having a spare tire, people. He explained that many hybrid, electric, and even conventional vehicles are now manufactured without spare tires. According to him, this is largely due to design constraints and cost-cutting measures by manufacturers. He went on to say most of the hybrid and all-electric cars are not carrying a spare tire. Babwa said, noting that battery placement often eliminates the traditional wheel well, the place to be able to store the extra wheel. He added that manufacturers have also phased out spare tires in many standard vehicles as well. My response, and before I go to my response, my fellow UNC supporters who are online, who probably have these hybrid vehicles, the time is coming, people. The licensing officers, the traffic wardens, the police officers, the TTPS will meet up with you at some point in time to continue to support these types of new policies that were not part of UNC's manifesto being imposed now or implemented now. But my response is this isn't normal at all. People, this is not the UNC style of governance. This is not how, these are not UNC traditional principles and policies and so forth. No other government has ever doubled fees and fines in such a short space of time, including the People's National Movement. They have done a lot of increasing of taxes and fines and so forth, but they still did it during through a gradual process. We are talking about just within a matter of less than a year, United National Congress has doubled most of the fees in Trinidad and Tobago when it pertains to certain types of public service, and also have increased fines and custom duties as well. So I said this isn't normal. No other government has ever doubled fees and fines in such a short space of time. I have voted UNC my entire life, people. And it really disappoints me to see what this Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is doing to our political party. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. The Water and Sewage Authority, WASA, is already implementing measures to manage the country's water supply. WASA said it has already activated its water supply management activities in accordance with its dry season water management plan, aimed at maintaining a sustainable and equitable water supply for all communities throughout the dry season. The Asa Wright Nature Center and the Mount Pleasure Estate Hotel are now Green Key certified. At a ceremony at the Asa Wright Nature Center in Arima on Friday, Hadco Experiences received an internationally recognized Green Key certificate for their eco lodges, marking a significant milestone in sustainable tourism. At least that's some good news there. Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Satya Kama Maraj, said this achievement is not only a proud moment for Hadco Experiences, but also for Trinidad and Tobago, because remember, people, we need to diversify the economy, using the energy sector as our backbone of the economy, but we need to diversify, and therefore we need to focus on agriculture, manufacturing, which was part of the UNC campaign, and also tourism. Over 800 government and government-assisted schools will implement stronger nutritional guidelines for food and beverages aimed at tackling childhood obesity and unhealthy eating habits. The partnership between the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health will restrict sugary foods and drinks, highly salted and fried foods, and introduce healthier options. The program will also promote physical activity, building on measures that, like the removal of soft drinks from schools in 2017. That was under the PNM administration. So a lot of that initiative was already taken. I'm just wondering what will be left for the students in these schools to end up consuming. Newsday, Trinidad Newsday, a well-known paper that has been around since I was a child growing up in the 80s and the 90s, well, I believe the 90s. Newsday has begun legal proceedings to wind up its operations, signaling the closure of the newspaper after 32 years, so definitely the 90s. According to a story published in Newsday, a public notice to be published in all daily newspapers on January 10th states that a petition to wind up Daily News Limited, publishers of Newsday, was filed on the 31st of December 2025. The first hearing is set for January 19th, 2026. Part of our legacy is going away, but I mean, if they have no choice but to close, then that is all part of life, huh? Premium touchscreen wireless headsets restocked. 1.9-inch HD full-color touchscreen. ANC and ENC noise reduction for crystal clear calls. 9D panoramic sound. Long battery life and fast charging. Control music, videos, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. Camera feature, voice assistant, timer, stopwatch, and lyrics on screen. Water resistant, sleek design. Available in gold, black, blue, and purple. Gift-ready packaging with replacement earbuds included. Never lose your earbuds again with the Find Headphones feature that actually works. Don't miss out. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order. Limited stock available. The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security in Guyana is launching a campaign to help pensioners transition from pension book payments to bank accounts on Mobile Money Guyana MMG. In a Facebook post on Wednesday, Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad stated that the initiative is designed to remove unnecessary hardship from the pension collection process. My response was very simple. Both options should remain available for pensioners to make that decision for themselves. You shouldn't have to mandate that. I support so much of what is taking place in Guyana. But these sorts of policies, I don't think I agree with. Leave it open for the pensioner to decide whether they want to do that or not. Minister of Legal Affairs are currently distributing certificates of titles to some 120 families of Cotton Tree, Region 5, Mahaika, Berbice. The exercise forms part of a wider land titling program, which has already seen 200 residents from the community receiving their legal documents, something like what we call a deed of comfort here in Trinidad and Tobago. Yesterday's distribution follows months of consultations and services conducted by the AG's members and several other institutional bodies. The cancellation of the 2026 staging of the Western Relays has sent shockwaves through the track and field community in Western Jamaica, with coaches describing it as a major setback for the sport, particularly for athletes seeking to qualify for the ISSA Boys and Girls Athletics Championships set for March. The organizers announced yesterday that the track at GC Foster is slated to undergo resurfacing, but with no confirmed start date for the project. Wow. They had no choice but to cancel this year's staging. Track resurfacing typically takes 3 to 4 weeks to complete. I mean, come on. I don't know if this is controlled by the state or whatsoever, but they need to do better than that. When Parliament reconvenes in Jamaica next Tuesday for its first sitting of the new year, a pivotal performance audit report examining public health procurement related to infrastructure at the Cornwall Regional Hospital and the University Hospital of the West Indies is expected to be laid on the table of the House. The Auditor General's Department delivered the report to Gordon House the seat of Jamaica's parliament this week. Let's just hope that this could be able to be completed in the shortest space of time possible. I'm telling you, they need to do that as well when it concerns the sports in Jamaica. I mean, usually Jamaica is so known for sports. But then anyhow, now for the interesting facts segment, cleaning the Pacific sounds impossible, right? Until you see the tool they just built. That is basically what a Dutch team is doing. And it is already pulling plastic out of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The project is run by the Ocean Cleanup based in Rotterdam. Their latest system is a floating barrier about 2.2 kilometers long. That's really long you're talking about there. Towed slowly by 2 ships. Plastic drifts into the system and gathers where it can be collected. Crews lift it on board, then sort it so it can be recycled where possible. So they're not just throwing away the garbage again, though. They're going to recycle it, which is wonderful. They focus on the Great Pacific Garbage Patch because currents trap debris there for years. Researchers estimate it holds trillions of pieces of plastic, and a lot of it is old fishing gear. But that's a lot of stuff to sort out. Getting the big pieces out matters because they break down into smaller bits over time. Less plastic in the water can mean fewer animals getting tangled or mistaking it for food, especially like turtles and stuff like that. But ocean cleanup is not as simple as scoop and done. Some tiny surface creatures called Newston can gather in the same zone, so scientists have raised concerns about accidentally catching sea life. Ocean cleanup says it keeps adjusting the design and monitoring who gets caught. Outside, reporting shows this has become a real point of pressure, pushing the tech to be safer as it scales. And even the biggest ocean vacuum cannot win if new trash keeps flowing in. Exactly. That is why the same group also builds river interceptors to stop plastic before it even reaches the sea. Being proactive, in other words. This is not a magic fix, but it is a rare case of big engineering aimed at a big mess. 100% support that. If it keeps getting safer and more effective, it could give parts of the ocean a better shot at recovery. Closing off now with the travel segment. Across North America, the colder months unlock a different kind of adventure where travelers can explore a hand-sculpted ice hotel, unwind under the aurora at remote retreats, or escape the snow entirely in warmer climates. These seasonal escapes invite adventurers and stargazers to discover why this is a time of the year worth chasing. One of those places, Flamingo Lodge, located at the southernmost tip of Everglades National Park, offers unique sustainable lodging, shipping, container rooms, suites with waterfront views, serving as a base for exploring Florida's subtropical wilderness through boating, hiking, kayaking, and wildlife viewing, like watching like birds, alligators, and so forth. It features a restaurant, visitor center, boat rentals, and offers various activities, providing an immersive, comfortable escape into the park's vast natural beauty and abundant wildlife. Definitely a place that I would love to visit. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news headlines. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all. In Jesus' name.